guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. My name is Emmanuel from Virgo Real Estate, and I'm going to be talking about things to consider when renting a property. Now, the first thing to consider when renting a property is to know your budget. It is very realistic for you to know how much you can afford to rent and in which area you're considering to rent your property. And it is important also for you to rent within 25% to 30% of your salary. As we all know, we are having so many expenses, so you don't want to be having to pay high rent and while you're having other expenses. The second thing to look at is know your preferences. I would advise that if you have a child, it would be good to rent a property that has a backyard where your child is able to play, as well as some complexes have play areas. Those are the things you need to look at. But if you're a young person, you can even rent a property in a building where you can be on the second or third floor, of which is not advisable if you have children. So you need to know your preferences. And then the next point, you need to ask the cost. You need to know the cost of utilities. It is important for you to ask the cost of utilities because as rent, you will be paying the utilities monthly. Now, some complexes that I can mention, like 51 on Lazareth, those ones, they have business rights. So meaning that the utilities are not the same as the residential. The utilities there are charged more expensive than the normal. So for example, on a normal basis, your utilities might be 500, but on a business, you will be paying 1,000. So you need to ask and make sure that you know the cost of utilities. If you are planning to rent for a long term, one thing that you need to consider is that rent escalates every year. So you need to know by how much the rent is escalating. Because if the rent is, for example, 7,000 and it escalates every year with 300, at the end of the 3 years, you're going to be paying 8,000, and you need to consider that if it's within your budget. Thank you very much for tuning into our YouTube channel. If you want more content, please keep coming back. Bye.